Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. How about the fallout from the speech night before last? There are even Democrats who are disgusted with the Democrats in the chamber because it was so low class, so immature, so reprehensible that if you have any common sense at all, you were disgusted with their despicable actions the other night.
Yeah, I've been seeing videos from Democrat voters saying, "Oh my gosh, I thought I was alone. I woke up this morning and I saw I'm not. My fellow Democrats were disgusted."
Yeah,
that's awesome to see.
It is. It's great, and we should be able to come together on that.
Yeah,
I mean, these people are pathetic. But one of the touching moments from the president's speech Tuesday night was 13-year-old brain cancer survivor DJ Daniel, who, as the newest member of the Secret Service, got to meet the president yesterday.
Aww. What a good-looking family, huh?
There's one more thing I got for you, a big hug.
Okay, good. That's very nice. Look at that family you got, huh? Very nice. How are you? Nice to see you.
That's
nice
cool.
To see you. It was a big evening last night, right? Yes, it was. That was a big evening.
That was a big evening.
It was.
It really was.
And he was bullied, apparently. I didn't realize that until this morning.
Jeez.
Yeah. There was a video that ended up getting seen by Trump. And the president then invited him after saying that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Good stuff, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
And by the way, that little kid, I know he's a Secret Service agent now, but he had a gun in the White House, in the Oval Office. He was just gun and belt and everything.
Oh, my.
What a good-looking family.
There's one more thing I got for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, he's a Secret Service agent.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, interesting.
He's on the president's detail now, probably. So
yes.
Good stuff.
We could have used him in Butler, Pennsylvania. We could have used him.
Amen.
Despite all the heartwarming American stories, Tuesday night, we saw how the Democrats behaved. And White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt made sure they heard about it yesterday. She outlines it pretty darn well here.
And as President Trump asked in his speech last night, how could anyone possibly be opposed to any of this action that he is taking? Well, apparently, the modern-day Democrat Party could. The behavior of Democrats last night was completely disgraceful and demonstrated how severely out of touch they are with the American public. It was the most shameful moment in the history of presidential addresses in that beautiful chamber. In what was supposed to be a unifying moment for our country, Democrat members of Congress instead screamed at the President of the United States, who was just overwhelmingly reelected by their constituents, walked out of the chamber, and worst of all, they disrespected the American people. Democrats didn't stand to keep men out of women's sports. They couldn't even clap for a girl who got her head smashed in by a man on a volleyball court. Democrats didn't stand for an innocent and beautiful child who is surviving brain cancer. They opposed eliminating taxes on tips and Social Security. They didn't stand in favor of cutting taxes for hardworking Americans. They couldn't even clap for two mothers whose daughters were killed by illegal aliens. One of the only things that could get Democrats off their feet last night was cheering for Ukraine.
Yep.
Not for America. Last night was a very clarifying moment for our country. The Democrats exposed themselves as the party of insanity and hate, the party that wants to put America last. They've allowed their Trump derangement syndrome to stop them from celebrating America and our people, and we will not allow them to forget that. And it's not just the Democrat Party. The mainstream media still doesn't get it. Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th. And CNN's first chyron out of the speech called it divisive. President Trump wasn't divisive. The Democrats were. And CNN was proven wrong by their own viewers, 69% of whom, in a post-speech poll, said they had a positive reaction to the president's speech. It's sad and frankly pathetic that Democrats and liberals in the legacy media continue to allow their hatred for the president to override their love for our country. But nevertheless, the president will continue to unify this nation through policies that are grounded in common sense and that uplift all Americans.
I hadn't seen that poll from CNN before, had you?
Yeah.
Wow. Either very positive or somewhat positive, 69%.
Yeah, there's another poll that says
Wow.
76% favorable
That's
reaction to the
incredible.
poll, or to the speech.
Wow.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And they keep acting like they act. How can you see this from the American people and then just keep going down that road? Wow. That doesn't seem real smart to me.
Not much the left does.
Yeah, it's very true. Then there was Representative Lateefah Simon discussing Congressman Al Green getting kicked out of the chamber.
Seems like a blatant disrespect for the House, and it wasn't coming from Representative Green. It was coming from the men behind him on the right side who were telling him and yelling, "Sit down." I mean, it felt like...
What did it feel like?
I was watching something in a history class. A
really?
racist yelling at an elderly black man challenging the President of the United States not to cut medical care for the sick.
You knew this was coming, this reaction.
Oh, my gosh. That's incredible. Not to cut, and because he was speaking so positively about cutting medical care for the sick, right? And the elderly. Yeah, how many times did he say, I'm going to cut, you know what I'm going to do? Well, first thing I want to do when this speech is over is start cutting medical care for the sick and the elderly. He has said the opposite over and over and over and over and over again. And then you've got this guy standing up, screaming at him, disrespecting the president. But it's a racist gesture that he was thrown out of the chamber.
Glad you finally see that.
Yeah.
White man.
It took me a minute, but I got there.
The white men were yelling right behind him. Them to sit down, black,
and the
sit down.
people that removed him, white.
The guy speaking in the front, white. The one who ordered,
white. Both the guys behind Trump, white.
You're getting
Both
it.
guys behind him, white.
You're getting it.
All right. Well, shouldn't have taken me this long to see the disgusting racism involved here.
It's a reaction that's kind of bred into you. Where you
that's right.
To quote a former president.
That is true. Because when I see a black person, obviously I get really scared.
I tell you.
What other reaction should you have, Pat Gray?
Oh man, I don't know. What was that Obama cut?
He's talking about his grandma.
Yeah, it's Obama's grandma because when she sees a reaction, when she
black guy on the side of the other side, she goes to the other side of the street.
Yeah.
So
dang it.
That's okay.
I don't know that I have that, but those were good times.
They were so good.
Good times. Even this lifelong Democrat wrote this opinion piece in New York Post, and I think it's worth reading because it does show that there is some common sense in the party still. He says, his name is Robert Holden, and he wrote this for the New York Post. As a lifelong Democrat, I never imagined I would watch my own party embarrass itself so thoroughly and so publicly as it did during Tuesday's session of Congress. From obnoxious booing to childish protest signs to a sitting member of Congress having to be physically removed from the chamber, Democrats turned what should have been a solemn, dignified event into a bad reality show. And for what? To book a slot on MSNBC to brag about their resistance? Nothing was more disgraceful than when my colleagues refused to stand or clap when 13-year-old DJ Daniel, a brain cancer survivor, was made an honorary Secret Service agent. This boy beat cancer and dreamed of protecting the president. That dream came true when President Donald Trump honored him. A beautiful human moment that should have transcended politics. Democrats used to be the party of compassion, the party that stood up for the vulnerable and celebrated stories of triumph over adversity. Not sure that's true, but that's what he said.
Just let him run.
I'll just let him go. Now, we can't even clap for a kid who beat cancer if the wrong president is standing beside him. When Trump said biological men shouldn't compete in women's sports, Democrats acted like he proposed banning Little League. But most Americans, including plenty of Democrats, agree that protecting women's sports isn't radical. It's common sense. The same thing happened when Trump called for cutting waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. Democrats stayed silent. Are we now the party that supports waste, fraud, and abuse? Let me answer that for you. Yes. Yes, you are. You might consider changing parties at this point. But he continues, when Trump honored families whose loved ones were killed due to reckless sanctuary policies I've fought to reform in New York City, Democrats couldn't even show basic respect when he honored Stephanie Diller, the widow of murdered NYPD officer Jonathan Diller. It should have been a moment of unity, yet many Democrats offered only lukewarm applause, if any at all. And when Trump called for the death penalty for cop killers, the silence was deafening. Since when did standing up for the families of fallen officers become controversial? Another disappointing moment came when President Trump called for peace in Ukraine, a goal that should have brought both sides of the aisle to their feet. Democrats were once the party of peace, but you wouldn't know it from the silence. Have we really reached a point where even supporting peace is treated as partisan? Again, let me answer. Yes, we have. He says, it's a sad reflection of how far my party has drifted. This isn't principled resistance. It's emotional immaturity. It also reeks of hypocrisy. Democrats rightly condemned Republican Representative Joe Wilson when he shouted, "You lie," at President Barack Obama during his State of the Union. Back then, we said such outbursts were beneath the dignity of Congress. But Democrats' antics on Tuesday, waving signs, heckling, and walking out were just as bad, if not worse. Democrat Rep. Al Green even had to be physically removed from the chamber. When we act like this, we embarrass ourselves and alienate the very voters we claim to champion. Senator John Fetterman, which we're going to mention here in a moment, called it a sad cavalcade of self-owns and unhinged petulance that only made Trump look more presidential and restrained. He warned the Democrats are becoming the political equivalent of a car alarm, constantly blaring and increasingly ignored.
Wow.
That's a pretty good line, actually.
That's a Fetterman line on that?
I guess so. That's who he attributed it to.
That's awesome.
Voters want leaders who act like adults, who clap for good ideas, no matter who proposes them, and who show bipartisan respect for families who suffered unimaginable loss. Americans are exhausted by this nonsense. They want leaders who solve problems, not politicians chasing retweets. They want representatives who stand up for common sense, not political theater. Until we get back to that, we don't deserve to govern. I'm not saying we should agree with everything Trump says. Far from it. However, there's a way to disagree with dignity and class. My fellow Democrats didn't just miss that opportunity. They sprinted in the opposite direction. I'm embarrassed for my party. But more importantly, I'm worried for my country. If Democrats can't even applaud a kid beating cancer, grieving families, saving tax dollars, securing our borders, or a call for peace, what does that say about us? That's a great article written again by a lifelong Democrat. He doesn't say switching parties, but Robert Holden has obviously seen what his party has become, which is a group of radical hypocrites who don't make any sense anymore and have completely lost touch with reality and with the American people. And I don't know how you turn that around when you're just completely when you've lost your grip on anything real. When you can't even describe what a woman is. When you can't even admit that because you're not a biologist. It's pretty bad. Things have gotten pretty sad for the Democrat Party. All right, let me tell you about the Jace case. First of all, Jace Medical would like to thank all the first responders. As we've been dealing with snowstorms and fires and other intense weather situations, it's easy to forget how many people put their lives on the line to save their fellow Americans. But they can't be everywhere all at once. And when it comes to emergencies, the thing you need to remember is that you're your own first responder. And one of the most important tools you can have in your toolkit is the Jace case. I can't recommend these highly enough. It comes in a little case like this. It's got 5 antibiotics in there. that treat the most common bacterial infections, can clear things up for you. I mean, it's great in an emergency, but it's just great for convenience, too. Let's just say, I don't know, like a wild example, your doctor misdiagnoses you or...
Hypothetical.
Just a hypothetical there that gives you a medication that doesn't help at all. And, man, if I just had a Z-Pack, I could knock this out in a matter of hours or days. And so you've got the Z-Pack in your Jace case, and you just open it up and start taking it. And boom, just as you suspected, your sinus infection and strep throat seem to start fading away. Huh. That's a wild hypothetical, but
well, sure.
Could happen. I understand. In reality, it actually could happen. The Jace case, it's a personalized emergency kit that contains essential antibiotics and medications that treat these common and sometimes deadly bacterial infections. So whether it's for an emergency or it's just for convenience, maybe you're not near your doctor or your pharmacy and you still have these things on hand for when somebody in your family gets sick and you're pretty sure you know what it is. And you can get add-ons like ivermectin if you want. Just go to jace.com, enter their giveaway, or you can purchase your own case when you go there. Enter the promo code PAT at checkout, and you'll get a discount on your order. That's promo code PAT at jace.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed is back.
So, just a couple of quick housekeeping items from Tuesday night. You saw where Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, he had a great moment getting that douche kicked out, Al Green.
Trying to restore order.
I guess that was a little too much celebrating after the fact by his chief of staff, who then got, what was it? He hit a car or something. He got drunk.
Oh, no.
Hayden Haynes, chief of staff to Mike Johnson. Suspicion of drunken driving. So that's not good, but Mike Johnson standing by his chief of staff at this point. So that's good. Now, a very strange thing. Did you see where Congressman Sylvester Turner, former mayor of Houston,
just dropped dead after the speech? Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
He went to the hospital. Weird. They sent him home.
Yeah.
He died at home. No cause has been released.
Right. Very strange.
It's not good.
Yeah. I don't know how old Sylvester was. Probably around 70, I would think. He was mayor of Houston for 8 years.
Yeah.
He was in the Texas legislature for a long time when we lived there. I don't think he was sick at all, right?
Yeah, died at 70 years old. You're right. Yeah.
Man. Sad.
Very.
Yeah, there was a DUI. Really sad. Mike Johnson's
What show are you producing today? I love you.
Are you listening to the Joe Scarborough meeting?
I've been there. I understand.
Try to figure out how to do the third hour of their non-existent radio show? Is that what you're doing?
Who's in there distracting my Chris Cruz? Get out. Who's in there? No, I want to know. Who's in there, Chris?
Obama is distracting me.
Obama,
I found the clip about the grandma.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what. Okay, so he has a good excuse, Pat.
All right.
It took me a minute. Actually, AI found the exact spot.
Okay.
All right.
About the
that's cool.
The racist grandmother.
Yeah.
I can no more disown him than I can disown the black community. I can no more disown him than I can disown my white grandmother.
Right.
A woman who helped raise me, a woman who sacrificed again and again for me, a woman who loves me as much as she loves anything in this world.
Sounds like a Muppet character.
But a woman who once confessed her fear of black men who passed her by on the street. And who on more than one occasion has uttered racial or ethnic stereotypes that made me cringe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then there was a phone interview where he said it's bred into us.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's bred into our experiences.
Yes, when he was talking about that, that very situation with his grandma, that's when he said, he wasn't really criticizing his grandma because these things are bred into whiteys.
Oh, God.
It's basically what he had to say about it.
It's
insane.
It's a strange world where
sure is
the rules just are so different.
Oh my gosh.
From one side to the next.
Yeah. aren't they, though?
Is our camera stuck on me, Joe? What's going on there? Just checking. It's been a little awkward here.
Do you feel judged by the camera?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
All right. Yesterday in the House, there was a gathering to discuss the effects of the illegal immigration and what the effects are on American cities. A bunch of mayors were gathered, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett thinks she made a really great point.
As is Miss Crockett from Texas.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much to our mayors that are here. And I really quickly want to touch on something because I know that many of you prepared for today's hearing by making sure that you got a little bit of information about immigrants and crime in your cities. Let me ask each of the mayors, just yes or no. Have any of you been made aware of any immigrant that has had 34 felony convictions?
Oh, you were so
that has
close.
still been able to roam around in your cities? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
34 felony convictions.
No,
from the
Congresswoman.
immigrants. Anybody?
I'm not aware.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious because we are so concerned about crime, and I know that my Republican colleagues would never want anybody with 34 felony convictions roaming around because that could be a danger to the community. But I will move on.
Good job, Jasmine Crockett.
What is the...
Trying to
did somebody say there was somebody roaming around with 34 felony convictions? I mean, I'm sure there are many people like that roaming around with all kinds of felony convictions. But did somebody say that was an issue with?
Yeah, she's trying to
a specific
say
illegal
Donald Trump.
Okay, right. Oh, right. I didn't even make that connection
Because she sucks at it.
Yeah,
It does suck at it.
She sucked at the
my
presentation.
gosh.
She
So okay.
Life.
We're going back to the Donald Trump situation.
She's so smart.
Oh my gosh.
Jasmine Crockett. Doing weird dances. By the way, now she's doing weird dances in the halls of Congress.
Wow.
It reminds me of like nurses during the COVID era. I mean, what are we?
Congratulations, Dallas. That's your girl. You sent her there. Jeez.
And we're so grateful.
Thank goodness I'm not in that district because that's embarrassing.
You'd be running, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yes.
Running for office.
Somebody needs to. Somebody needs to run against her. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu had a message for illegals in her city.
You belong here.
Oh.
This is your home. Boston es tu hogar. Boston, c'est la caillou. 这是你的家. This is our city. We are the safest major city in the nation because we are safe for everyone.
And there you have it.
There you go.
And she keeps, at every press conference about this stabbing guy, right? She keeps saying how, our thoughts go to the...
Yes! Okay. To the guy who was shot by police. Yeah. She's sad about the guy who was using the knife and was going to kill innocent people with it.
Okay.
Whatever.
Cool.
All right. I mean... How do these people get elected? That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow. Also, Texas Rep. Brandon Gill chatted with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
On June 12th, 2023, you received Hugo Boss cufflinks and a personalized Mont Blanc pin. Do you know who gave you those?
So I did not receive those personally. The city of Chicago
received those on behalf
and
of
that's
the city
right,
of Chicago.
on behalf of the city of Chicago,
I
every
understand
mayor
the difference.
in the history of Chicago who has provided gifts to the city of Chicago.
Do you know who gave those to the city of Chicago?
So again, on behalf of the city of Chicago, there
it's
are
a yes
gifts
or no
that are
question.
received, but I do not accept. Those are not my personal gifts.
You don't know.
Those are the gifts of the city of
March
Chicago,
18th,
and that's why you are aware that they exist because they're within the law.
My time here, sir. On March 18th, 2024, you received a Gucci tote bag. Do you know who gave you that? Gave the city of Chicago that?
Again, I was here and I was invited.
I'll also
to
take
respond
that as
to
no.
the
On March
questions
19th,
around welcoming city, and I'm happy to answer
Chicago
any of those questions.
A Vinci bag, a Kate Spade purse, and Karuchi shoes. Do you know who gave the city of Chicago those?
Again, I was brought.
I'll take that as a no. I'm reclaiming my time
to respond
here, sir. I am reclaiming my time.
Chicago,
this
what a welcoming
raises
city
serious
ordinance
ethical concerns. You are providing an enormous amount of aid to illegal aliens, aiding and abetting criminals who have come into our country illegally. and you yourself are receiving an enormous amount of gifts, and you won't even tell us who they're coming from. That raises
time is up.
Serious ethical concerns.
We have a 5-minute rule.
So we never get to find out who gave him all the designer.
I looked. I never saw.
Goods?
I couldn't figure it out.
That's interesting.
But
wow.
It's the city of Chicago. Walking around with cufflinks and Gucci bags.
I wonder if you rotate, like if there's a sign-up sheet. Who
gets to use it for the day?
But it's funny that Brandon Gill brought up how much money was spent because Virginia Foxx tries to get numbers from how much each city is spending, and it's a lot of money on illegals.
Gentlemen's time's expired. Chair recognizes Dr. Foxx from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mayor Johnson, in the last 4 years, how much has Chicago spent on care for illegal aliens?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. So since 2022, the governor of Texas began
Just
shipping.
tell me a number. I don't need a speech. Just tell me a number.
So since 2022, since the governor of Texas,
no speech.
Individuals to cities across this country.
Good gosh.
The city's budget, roughly 1% of the city's budget over the course of 4 years.
Mayor Johnston, the same question, and I don't need a speech, just a number.
Thank you, Dr. Congresswoman. Thank you, Congresswoman. It's
Dr.
$7 to $9 million over the last 2.5 years.
Mayor Adams, same question. How much has New York spent to care for illegal aliens?
Approximately $6.9 billion went out of our taxpayers' funds.
Mayor Wu, same question. How much has Boston spent to care for illegal aliens in the last 4 years?
We do not ask about immigration status and giving city services and providing that access, so we do not have a number.
Wow, she is the worst.
Taxpayers have been bearing the brunt of the massive wave of illegal aliens who've entered the United States. The Biden administration seemingly declared taxpayers and hardworking Americans collateral damage in the pursuit of open borders. Again, Mayor Johnson, are NGOs providing services to illegal aliens in Chicago?
In accordance with the Welcoming City Ordinance, our sister agencies or city departments, we do not seek the status of any individual that is seeking service.
Mayor Johnston.
That's great.
Are NGOs providing services to illegal aliens in Denver?
Of course they are. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
When folks arrive on the streets without food or resources or shelter, we do provide food or shelter regardless of where folks arrive from.
Mayor Adams, same question.
Yes, in combination of city agencies and nonprofits, we responded to the migrant asylum seekers humanitarian crisis that hit our city.
And Mayor Wu, I assume you don't know their status, but do you know if there are NGOs are providing services to people arriving in your city without any kind of documentation?
I don't know.
There are community
Yes,
organizations, many of them in Boston, who seek to serve all of our Boston residents.
Congress must provide
they're not Boston residents when they're here illegally, stupid. That's your problem right there. When they're here illegally, they're not residents of your city, your state, or this nation. If I just go to Mexico City and I just live there, I'm not a resident of Mexico City. I'm an illegal alien in Mexico, and I deserve whatever punishment that comes from that. I deserve to be deported. I deserve to be taken into custody. I don't get it. Why are we expected to just welcome people no matter what happened, no matter the illegality involved in them being here? And we're just going to be welcoming no matter what? Okay. It doesn't make any sense. You've got citizens who are paying the bill for this. You're not, Michelle Wu. This isn't coming out of your paycheck. It's coming out of your citizens' paycheck. Jeez, it's mind-numbing. And that's why Democrats are in the situation they're in right now. They're radical morons. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. So the Democrats proving that they don't give a rat's anus about women. I love the fact that at the speech on Tuesday night, that volleyball player was there who got smashed in the face by a biological man. He spiked the ball so hard right into her face that it has caused her permanent damage.
Correct. Brain damage.
Just amazing. It was so bad. She had to stop playing volleyball.
Yeah.
She can't even play anymore. I mean, serious. And apparently permanent injuries playing volleyball against a biological man. And they don't care about that.
Nope.
They couldn't care less. Jeez. So they're wearing the bright pink outfits and ignoring the actual women who could really use their help on some of these issues. Jeez. So Trump honored Peyton McNabb. That's her name. And she's an ambassador for the Independent Women's Forum. Incredible. The Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act is a piece of legislation that not one single Democrat voted for, right? Including, I think, including John Fetterman. Did any Democrat vote for it? I don't believe so.
God, I don't remember.
Yeah, 206. Okay, so it was in the House. 206 House Democrats voted against the bill. And on Monday, Democrats blocked the corresponding bill in the Senate, even though the supermajority of Americans, 79%, according to a New York Times poll, want to see athletes compete in sports that conform to their sex. It's not that hard. That's nearly 80% of Americans who are on board with this. I mean, that's an incredible number. 80% of Americans don't agree on anything. So McNabb was a member of the Hiwassee Dam High School girls volleyball team in Cherokee County, North Carolina, until the male crossdresser playing for Highlands High School cut her dreams down. That was in September of 2022, so nearly 3 years ago now. So she was unconscious for 30 seconds after she got hit in the face with the ball. Brain damage, vision issues, paralysis on her right side, injuries that prevented her from pursuing her dream of securing a volleyball college scholarship. Wow. But she's worked hard in recent years to ensure other women and girls don't have their dreams cut short, just like Riley Gaines has done. Yeah. Here's another woman who's doing the same thing. And again, Democrats couldn't care less. It's really something. Oh, but they're the party that cares about women. That's interesting. Really? They don't care about their sensibilities. They don't care about the danger involved. They don't care about any of it. Bizarre.
Very. I just can't even understand that position.
I don't either. I can't begin to get my head around it.
And I also can't imagine being a dad watching your daughter play against a dude, then have that happen.
Mm-hmm. How incensed would you be?
I'd be in prison.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's really the thing. But there's so many of those issues. Representative Anna Paulina Luna put the mayors of New York, Chicago, and Boston.
Oh, yeah, more from
Denver.
The immigration fund yesterday.
She put them on notice yesterday.
So you don't believe that banning the transfer of individuals into ICE custody for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement encourages illegal immigration into Chicago? Or how about agencies, or agents not being able to stop, arrest, or detain individuals based solely on their immigration status or administrative warrant?
So we comply with all laws, local, state, and federal.
To me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8 Code subsection 1324, and it is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled, which is
I do
why,
too.
unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation.
Good.
And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that in an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt more people, and that's exactly why I'm tired of it. The American people are tired of it. And Chairman, I yield my time.
Would you yield your last minute?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's great.
Good.
She's great in several different ways. But this broken immigration policy thing, I mean, just the transition from Biden to Trump has shown that the immigration situation in this country is not broken. What was broken was our will to enforce the policies we already had in place. And now that we are enforcing the policies that we already had in place, it shows that the system isn't broken. It just has to be enforced. We have the we have the laws, we have the rules, we've got the means. We can fix this problem.
Yeah, I mean, what was the line from Trump's speech? You didn't need new laws. Turns out you just needed a new president.
Yeah, exactly
Boom.
right.
And before we get too far away from Anna Paulina Luna, she did say recently that the JFK files are going to be released en masse on a National Archives website for us to just go through. None of this, one thing at a time.
Really?
I don't know when,
Yeah,
but
okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
But that's what we want for all this stuff.
Yes,
we can handle just going through it ourselves. We don't need phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Yeah.
We don't need empty binders.
And we don't
need this.
And we don't need to wait 75 years to find out the truth that they tried to also pull a year or two ago. They tried to push that back another 75 years. No, no. We want to know, and we want to know now.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Oh, drop that microphone. Good stuff.
Yep.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. So it's so bad in Denver right now that the city is basically ignoring ICE directives.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, before we play this, though, because it's a long video, we don't need to play the entire 6.5 minutes. Just when it starts, you're going to see this guy in the bottom right corner, and he was just released by the city of Denver with a very short notice to ICE. ICE requests 48 hours heads up if you're going to release. If you're not going to hand over these illegals to us, just tell us when you're going to release them. Give us a couple days warning. No, they got a few minutes warning. And then he leaves, and then the ICE people are showing up, and they have to chase him down. Look at this. I mean, cities like this is while their mayor is in Washington, D.C., testifying. I mean, this is insanity.
Yeah.
Insane. We don't need any more of this.
Obviously, they're not following federal law. They might be following their own local laws. I don't know. I don't know what the law is in Denver. I guess it's just let people go, let people come into the city who anybody who wants to. All come free. And you can take things from American citizens if you want to. You can steal their social security numbers. You can commit identity fraud and theft, tax evasion. You can break into our country illegally and live in Denver as long as you want in total peace and comfort, I guess. But you're breaking federal law.
A little bit.
And that's when I get confused because they do the sanctuary cities. Somehow sanctuary cities override federal law. That's where I get confused.
Yeah, it doesn't, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, I mean, it's garbage.
It's
what
frustrating.
we hear from these mayors.
Because it's not like there's a wall around Colorado. I mean, they can go anywhere. It's not like there's a wall around Chicago.
Yep.
I mean, these illegals can go anywhere. They're our problem. So you would think that if you could agree on just a few common sense things, just listen to what you've talked about in just the last few minutes. illegals running free, girls having to play against dudes in sports, honoring a kid with cancer. What the hell's wrong with half of this country? And it's not half, as we know, but
it's
too many.
It's frustrating.
Yes, it is.
And look at this chart of illegal crossings since the year 2000.
Oh, this says a lot.
Historical crossings along the U.S. southern border since 2000. Wow. So that's pretty amazing. Look at that.
Happened
Look
in
at
the last 4 years.
Look at the spikes under Clinton. Okay. Then it calms down a little bit under Bush, who, by the way, wasn't great.
No.
But, surprisingly, it wasn't as bad as you would expect under Obama.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too, yeah.
Spikes again is just as the Biden administration starts, and then really spikes as his policies continue. But look where it is now. That's interesting.
It's record low.
Record lows. Yeah, so it spiked to 312,000 in December of 2024.
Gross.
Right before Donald Trump took over. And then this last month, 8,450. Interesting.
Because we passed new legislation, right?
No. No. Again, we did not. No. We sure didn't. But what we did was sent a message to them.
It turned out that all we really needed
was a new president. That's right.
Save that.
So great.
Save that.
Oh, that's great. What a great line, too.
Yep.
Yes. It was a good speech.
That's a good speech.
Excellent speech, yeah.
Did you know that Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the U.S.? They've got thousands of plants, fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, you name it, and over 2 million happy customers. Whatever you're looking for, they've got the perfect fit for your climate and your space. So when you go to, one of the big box stores or whatever, they're not going to know what to do for the climate that you're in. They don't have any idea. Go to the experts. Ordering's really easy. You can shop online and your plants show up at your door in just a few days. No leaving home required. Plus, their Alive and Thrive guarantee means your plants arrive healthy, and their plant experts are on call to help you plan, pick, and care for them. I love how easy it is to just transform my yard. Last spring, got a really beautiful tree, and we put it in the front, and they're still thriving today with the new owners of my house that now get to enjoy them. Yeah, but they've also got killer spring deals for you right now to get your home and your yard ready for spring. Up to half off select plants. And for our listeners, use the promo code PAT at checkout, and you'll get an extra 15% off your first purchase. That's fastgrowingtrees.com, promo code PAT for an extra 15% in addition to what they already offer you. It's a perfect time to plant. Save today. Limited offer. Terms apply. But go to fastgrowingtrees.com.
Pat Gray returns.
So it's not just illegal immigration, but blue cities are having a difficult time right now in general, like San Francisco.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. This is some sort of report. It's gross.
We have a local news report from San Francisco.
Yeah, don't be eating your breakfast while you're watching this, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's how bad it's gotten there, though.
Ugh.
We're going to try to ask this individual why he is urinating in public. Excuse me, sir. Hi.
Oh, jeez.
We're with ABC News. My name is Leanne Melendez. I wanted to ask you, you realize there are public bathrooms upstairs, but you choose to urinate here. Could I ask you why?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Why do you urinate here?
He just simply walked away.
The stench in this section of Portsmouth Square is intolerable and offensive. Years of public urination have left their mark on this now corroded pole. When we looked below, we discovered the source of the foul smell. Men urinating in a barren space of the park home to dozens of rat burrows. This is not a designated pissoir, those French public outdoor bathrooms. In fact, Portsmouth Square has bathrooms opened to the public only a few feet away.
Right there!
And maintained by recreation and park crews. There is no semblance of privacy here or shame. There is so much accumulated urine that on one corner, there is moss growing on the top. The San Francisco Health Department would not tell us if this represented a health issue for the community because they say they've never received a single complaint. Danny Sauter is the news supervisor for District 3, which represents Chinatown.
So what can we do to stop it?
Yeah, I think there's two things. I think we actually have to look at making sure that our existing facilities, our restrooms, are in good shape, that they're not closed, that people know where they are with signage and with good lighting.
Yeah, you have that.
And on the other side, if people are doing this, the park rangers need to make sure that they stop that, whether it's a verbal warning at first or maybe even up to a citation.
We asked police if they have ever cited anyone here or anywhere in San Francisco. Police told us at this time they don't have this data compiled.
Okay, all right. Wow.
They don't have the data compiled.
You know, and the saddest part is San Francisco was a world-class city.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. There's a lot to do there. It's a great-looking city. They've got great architecture. The Golden Gate Bridge, for the love of heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a beautiful city. It really was at one time. And look what they're allowing to happen to it under Democrat rule.
For what it's worth,
my gosh,
I did witness a gentleman in downtown Dallas urinating just 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, it's not just a San Francisco problem. It's just worse there than other places.
Yeah.
I mean, every major city has their problems, but my gosh.
Is San Francisco salvageable, Pat?
I don't. At this point, not under the leadership they have, no. I don't think so. Unless they change their direction, and maybe go with somebody who's got a brain, at least half a brain. I mean, and you're not even talking about the poop situation, which also exists.
There's a poop app.
Oh, my gosh. Why would you do that in the street when a few steps away you've got a perfectly good bathroom?
And
Why?
You say just half a brain required to be San Francisco mayor?
Just half.
Might make a big improvement.
You could start with that. Just half.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
If you've been worried about who's going to anchor the NBC Nightly News, you can rest easy. We know now.
Jeffy is. He's
I know. He's all upset about Lester Holt leaving that anchor chair. Mm-hmm. Tom Llamas.
Who?
It's exactly right.
Llamas?
Llamas. Tom Llamas.
Not alpaca?
No. It's not Tom Alpaca.
Okay.
Alpaca. No. Tom Llamas will be the NBC. Well, it's the NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Tonight from our foreign desk in Jalalabad, we announce replacing Lester Holt. Lester Holt is NBC Nightly News anchor. The unrecognizable Tom Llamas. Tom Llamas. That's how it would go if Tom Brokaw was announcing it. But he's not, apparently.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's literally, his name is spelled
Llamas. Llamas. I've never heard of this guy. I guess, so he's going to be the anchor and managing editor.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Right here.
Okay.
Tom Llamas.
A good-looking man.
Yeah. Is that his twin brother?
Okay, so tell us more about Tom Platypus.
I don't want to. He's Cuban descent, so it's Tom Llamas.
It's Llamas.
Don't you dare territory.
Don't you.
This is America. And he's the anchor of an American newscast.
I guess he's long been considered the leading candidate to replace Lester Holt. He currently serves as senior national correspondent and anchor of a nightly program on NBC News Now, the network's streaming service. So that tells you how many times I've seen that.
So we don't even
Let me carry the one. Zero. No times.
So this is streaming only?
I guess so. I don't know. He's a senior national correspondent. Whatever that means. And now he's going to be the anchor. Wow. Okay. These guys make a lot of money. A lot. 10 figures. Well, not 8 figures. Yes, 8 figures. 10 million, 20 million a year, that kind of thing. So that's a pretty good gig if you can get it.
Do we know what this guy's going to get, Mr. Alpaca?
Around $2.5 million.
2.5 is all they're paying him?
According to the New York Post,
really?
He'll make a modest salary estimated around 2.5.
Holy crap, I want a modest salary.
I know. But in the nightly news realm, that is modest.
Yeah.
I wonder what David Muir. I think David Muir is around 8 or 10 million.
They'll just sell some more commercials to Pfizer, and they'll be able to pay him more soon.
Sure.
What do you think? You think Muir? Your guess is 8 million?
I'm going to say 8 million for Muir.
You nailed it.
It is exactly 8 million.
Yeah. Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, how about that? Yeah. I mean the guys in the old days, the ones that were big stars and really highly trusted for some reason, like Walter Cronkite. And Dan Rather, and Huntley and Brinkley. You remember all those guys?
Oh, my gosh.
We don't have those guys around anymore.
So listen to, what do you think that the highest Walter Cronkite made in a year?
Oh, I bet it wasn't very much. I'm going to say 500,000.
1 million.
Okay. Yeah, not bad. I mean, for that day, because he retired in what? When did he retire?
88.
Was it? Okay. So that was a lot of money then.
And then they signed him to be a consultant for $150,000 for 10 years.
Oh, wow. Nice.
There you go.
Okay.
He consulted.
Yep.
Dan Rather. Didn't consult him enough.
Oof. Man, Dan Rather sucks. Yeah. He's doing that interview thing now. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, because it's on the streaming thing that you like so much.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
That's why you see it all the time, because you're seeing it on the streaming services.
Yes, that's right. All right. So yesterday, Vice President Vance and multiple Trump administration officials went down to the border as, this administration continues to try to clean up the mess Biden's team left behind.
Yeah. We got the news that Vance said that Trump wants to finish building the entire wall along the southern border by 2029. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
All about that.
And he alluded to something where they're going to try to make it easier for people to self-deport. He didn't get into what that's going to entail, but
teleportation device.
Okay,
I think we're partnering with Elon. Teleportation device.
All right, good. And the people who moved flight. Was it 370?
Yes. MH370.
MH370.
So that's our government.
We'll partner with that government.
Get together
agency.
with those people and just teleport people back to their country. That's good. I like it.
Say your home country 3 times in your head, and boom, you're out.
Nice. Huh.
So we're going to send all the illegals to Diego Garcia, where the plane is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. To repopulate that place.
That's going to be interesting.
Do we have a look at the people down at the border? Or no?
Did you want one?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to see who was down there and what they were doing. But
who was down there? Vance, Hegseth. I know Tulsi was there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we had our Blaze guy, right?
Blaze
Julio
guy was there.
Rosas.
Yeah. Our Blaze guy was with him all day.
What's his name? Our Blaze guy?
Julio
Rosas.
Okay.
Julio Rosas. Is it Rosas or Rojas?
Rosas.
Okay. Back on Capitol Hill yesterday, Dr. J. Bhattacharya, President Trump's nominee for NIH director. Here he was discussing what the government's role is and was and should be during a pandemic.
The proper role of scientists in a pandemic is to answer basic questions that policymakers have about what the right policy should be. Our role isn't to make decisions to say you shouldn't be saying goodbye to your grandfather as he's dying in a hospital. It shouldn't be to say you can't have a funeral because it's too dangerous. The scientists should say, here's what the risks are. And then you decide what the risk, whether you take it. The role of the scientist shouldn't be to say you can't send your kids to school for 2 years. That you can't you should close hospitals so that they can't treat heart attack patients. That you should not. The role of scientists should be to address those problems by giving good data, and then let people make the science should be an engine for freedom.
What a concept!
Knowledge and freedom.
What?
Not something where it stands on top of society and says you must do this, and this, or else.
Where
it shouldn't
is
be
this
pushing
coming from?
Mandates for vaccines that have been. Like the COVID vaccines that were tested for a relatively short period of time. I took the COVID vaccine myself, but I think that the mandates that many scientists push have led to the lack of confidence that so many of the public has in science. If science is a force for freedom and for knowledge, it will have universal support. That's what the role of science is.
Isn't that the truth? Wow, that was way too much common sense from the potential NIH director. I don't know how to handle it. It's a different time, boy. You can feel it. You can sense it. We see it every day in front of our eyes. It's just hard to believe that it's actually happening, but it is. But it is. I love that.
Yeah. Do we have any more information on the girl who died of measles? As long as we're talking about healthcare in America, I can't find a solid report that says that the hospital that she was in, they wouldn't give her breathing treatments. And so
why?
I don't know. I'm trying. The information is scant, but apparently the parents asked on 4 occasions to help with her breathing, and
they wouldn't do it.
That's
bizarre.
I'm trying to find a source that I can bring to you, as opposed to just hearsay at this point. But I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm also seeing Mennonite community mentioned. Is that accurate? I don't know. But
that she was part of the Mennonite community?
And that would make sense on not being vaccinated.
Yeah.
Of course, leaving your borders wide open so that third world diseases infiltrate also needs to be pointed out.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find more information on this little girl in West Texas.
Yeah, because out of, 159 cases now? She's the only one who's died.
Right. Yeah, I honestly didn't know that we had a Mennonite community in West Texas. But
I couldn't identify all the Mennonite community locations in the country. I don't think.
Could it?
I don't think I could. No.
What the heck?
I know. It's silly of me. I need to study up on my Mennonite information. I'm going to work on that today.
Everybody in this room, I thought you would be the one that
to be the Mennonite expert. Yeah, I'm not, but I'm going to be. That's my pledge to you.
Thank you, Pat.
Right now. I'm going to become a Mennonite expert on where their communities are.
Well, you can start by knowing that this county, Gaines County
in Texas,
definitely has a Mennonite community.
Okay, good.
And this is where
there we go. Huh. So what is that? What is Gaines County near, or what is located therein?
Seminole.
Okay, sure. I love Seminole, Texas. Love it.
That's a weird to name something in West. I'd like to know the history of that name. How did Seminole? That's a Florida and
that's a weird name for a Texas
and if you want to add more knowledge to Mennonite,
okay,
Ohio, Indiana, Kansas, and Illinois, the largest.
So how did it get to Texas?
Good.
That's all connected up there.
Okay. Are they friends with the Amish? Are they?
That's not on my.
Yeah, it's not on. Okay.
Okay. Now
you Google. See, are Mennonite and Amish friends?
Here we go. Mennonites first arrived in Texas in 1896 in Fairchild's Fort Bend County, and then in the 80s and 90s,
so that's down near Houston,
moved from Mexico to Texas. So there you go.
Okay. Wow. That's just the beginning of my Mennonite expertise. That's just the beginning. That's not enough for me.
When you coming back here with a full report with visual
really
aids and
soon,
stuff?
really super soon.
Should we schedule it? I mean, I could look at the calendar here.
No, we'll do it afterward. Okay. We don't want to do on the planning of the show on the show. So we'll do that later.
By the way, I'm gonna have you. I have the answer for the Mennonite and the Amish.
Okay.
No.
They're not friends?
Friends.
Oh,
in
no.
a typical sense.
Oh, no.
Although,
bitter rivals.
Depending on the specific community, some cooperation may occur.
Okay.
But they're not friends.
May what?
Occur.
Are they big rivals?
I think he meant occur.
High school
if
football?
I could translate from territory into English.
They share school facilities. That's the closest.
The Mennonites and Amish?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the closest thing that they can do.
All right. Well, good.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see if this is going to be, and we may never know. Did she die with measles or from measles? Is this going to be like COVID-19?
Yeah, we'll see.
Because it suits a narrative, so they can blame it on measles.
Were there
RFK.
other issues involved? Were there comorbidities?
Yes.
All of that stuff. We need to find that out.
Yeah.
Meantime, this is interesting that they're finding out some of the payments that the Biden administration was making to certain companies. During the final months of the Biden administration, the National Institute of Health awarded $28 million to a mysterious venture-backed company called Vaccine Company.
Oh, no.
It's a biomedical firm founded in 2022 whose chief financial officer just happens to be one of former President Joe Biden's top COVID advisors.
Huh. I'll try harder.
So, Vaccine Company got $28 million from the Biden administration. Isn't that great? And so they're trying to track down exactly what Vaccine Company did with that $28 million. They called the Vaccine Company, and Vaccine Company couldn't be reached for comment. That's weird. I wonder if they tried using Phone Company to get in touch with them.
Thank you.
Or maybe they could have driven over there to visit Vaccine Company in person with Car Company. Is that possible?
Wait a minute.
Or who else would be really good at helping out in a situation like this is Message Company, because they can get a message right to Vaccine Company.
Right.
They deliver messages at Message Company.
Message Company.
This is unbelievable stuff. It is unreal what was happening under Biden. And all the Democrats can do is say, Elon Musk sucks. That's it. That's what they got. Elon Musk and 19-year-olds. Okay.
Wait a minute. Let's structure that sentence a little differently.
Not like that, Pat.
I'm just going to leave it there.
Wait, he's the world's richest man. We can't just, risk the company with Elon Musk and 19-year-olds.
Okay, the 19-year-old's working for him.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, and so I love this tweet by Representative Thomas Massey. Congress this is the other night, Tuesday night during the speech, Congress just stood up and applauded DOGE for exposed wasteful and fraudulent programs that Congress itself funded and plans to fund in the coming CR. Wow, does that not tell you everything?
Sure does.
My goodness. And then DOGE at $105 billion. I don't know what the DOGE counter's at right now, but when I printed this up, is $105 billion to date, which equates to approximately,
I think we're beyond that,
$652 per taxpayer saved.
Wow. Okay.
How great is that?
Excellent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. One last thing. This is really tragic. The U.S. State Department has shut down pollution monitoring abroad. Since 2008, embassies and other diplomatic posts had been publishing data about local air quality. In many countries, it was the only reliable source of such information. Not my problem.
Get right.
That's a different country.
Right.
Don't care. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, DOGE.
It's insane. All right. Let me tell you about Birch Gold. You don't go out and buy a life jacket when your boat is already sinking. And you don't buy gold when the economy is already collapsed. Clearly, others are heeding this advice because gold has hit an all-time high in the first part of 2025. But it's not too late for you. The company I trust to help you diversify into physical gold. Physical gold is Birch Gold. the company I buy my gold from. Birch Gold specializes in helping you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold for no money out of pocket. Just listen to this 5-star review. They're knowledgeable, they're helpful, they're non-pressure. Well, that's what you get with Birch Gold. And that's why I've endorsed them for so long. Get your free info kit on gold by texting the word PAT to the number 989898. There's no obligation, just really good information for you. Go through it, see if it's right for you. They've got an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews. So text PAT to the number 989898. Let the experts at Birch Gold help you secure your future today with gold.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, little controversy going on with the stranded astronauts in space. They're still there on the space station. They've been there for
9 months.
Yeah, over 300 days.
Oh.
Over 300 days.
Oh, thank you.
Yesterday, it was reported that Elon was ready to rescue them months ago. But Joe Biden refused to allow it, presumably because it would make Musk look good.
This is weird, man.
Is that possible? Wow. So, yesterday, the astronauts were asked about it. And here's what they had to say.
14.
Cut 14. Astronauts question.
Our next question is from Aaron Gregg with The Washington Post.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for doing this. So my question relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys
Pause it
back
for just
earlier.
a sec. There's got to be something she can do with her hair.
Are you distracted?
Yeah.
Are you distracted?
Every time I see the two of them in space, you got that hair situation with her. I don't know. Can you do a little ponytail or something?
Gravity
Can you wrap it up?
Gravity doesn't let you.
No, it doesn't.
Put a hat on,
okay.
right?
Yeah, but put a hat on.
Yes.
Yeah. Something.
Because right now I feel like
bandana.
I'm like.
So you don't look like Albert Einstein.
Or like I'm trick-or-treating at the haunted house at the end of the lane. What's happening here?
Okay, let's not get distracted. All right, let's go back to what they had to say.
Okay.
All right.
My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background?
Pause it. No, he was offering to have them jump. He said, hey, you know what? If I tell them just 1, 2, 3, jump, then they'll make it back to Earth. And
is that how that works?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they just fall through the atmosphere into the ocean, and he'll pick them up there.
But
that's what he was proposing.
So hold on a second. Don't be ridiculous.
Would it be another flight?
Don't be ridiculous.
What are you talking about? Of course, it would be another flight.
So you can't just in case you're listening, you have questions about gravity. You can't just jump out of a spacecraft, Pat. Right? Just be honest. You have to have a cinder block.
Okay.
You've got to bring you to Earth.
And you throw that the opposite direction.
No. You're holding on to it, and then it pulls you down to Earth.
Okay.
Because it makes you heavy enough to.
All right.
So
no matter how much you weigh, the cinder block will weight you back down to the Earth. Okay.
Now you understand.
All right, I got it.
Space rescue.
I got it.
Okay, so here's the question, and this astronaut, he's ready to answer it because if you start at the beginning. You see him go, oh, Washington Post.
Yeah.
And as soon as the Washington Post reporter asked the question, he's like, give me that microphone. I'll answer this. Was Elon denied a chance to rescue us?
Okay. So here's the answer. It went a little something like this.
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever.
What was
offered?
Then how do you know it's factual?
Offered, who it was offered to, how that process went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that you would be hoping for.
Oh,
I'm confused.
You kind of did.
I'm confused.
You believe him.
So Elon Musk, what he said is absolutely factual,
but I have no information on it. Wait.
I don't know.
Maybe
I really don't
space is affecting his mind a little bit. I don't know.
Well,
I
if
don't
I've
know.
been there for 9 months, my mind is going a little bit
spacey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I have a question as one who has not followed this nearly as close as most people are, many
Certainly
people.
Jeffy.
Certainly Jeffy.
Jeffy's followed this pretty closely.
And he might have an answer, and maybe he'll
he'll have
text
one
me
tomorrow.
right now. He might text me, where'd the third guy come from? What is this? We have 2 people up there for months, and now all of a sudden we got Mr. Microphone? What is happening? I really don't understand this.
He's the maintenance guy.
Where did he come from?
You just set him up there.
Was he living in the Starliner basement, and all of a sudden
I think so,
said,
yeah.
hey,
I think he's been there the whole time. I think he's been there the whole time. But he just doesn't usually show up in these. It's just the 2 of them, because that's what everybody's interested in. But he's the guy who's supposed to be there all this time. They're not. They're not supposed to be. I don't know if he's meant to be there alone right now.
What is
that
happening?
Weird? I know.
Okay, so I got you.
I don't know.
Oh, you got?
I got you.
Okay,
I got
cool.
you.
All right.
Okay.
There are currently 7 people living in the ISS right now.
Oh, there's 7?
There's 7 of them.
Wow. Okay.
So hang on, I'm still lost. So did the ISS, did it hook up with the Starliner recently or something? Or like, did they connect? Like,
Yes, they connected with the SpaceX Dragon capsule in September 2024. yeah.
Okay.
And that's where they must have gotten a shipment of food, right? Food and water, whatever. Of course, the water I think they just recycle, but
Yeah, pee.
yeah,
You drink
it's
your own
gross.
pee.
I didn't want to go there, but
So where are the other 4 people now? Now I'm confused.
yeah, the others are in the basement, and yeah, 3 of them are in the basement. 1 of them's in the attic.
Or did they eat them before the food got there? They were like, man, we got to eat something.
Yeah.
Draw straws.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just wish
It's a
they
weird
would
situation.
Be home
tell you
now.
that. Yeah, I'll tell you. It's time to bring them home.
Yeah, and if Biden stopped that from happening,
despicable.
This is
absolutely despicable.
This presidency gets worse and worse.
Sure does. Every day. And we're going to find out worse things than this.
Yeah.
You know we are.
Yeah.
More coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, do we have breaking news on the Amish and Mennonites?
So Ed McCrae is a viewer of this program. He's an awesome guy. He's actually my guest later today on my live stream at 3 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to talk about underrated founders. But he sent me this note. And it says, because he lives in Pennsylvania, and he says, if you guys ever really want to know about the difference between Amish and Mennonites,
yeah,
he said, I grew up around communities of both and even attended a liberal Mennonite church in high school.
Wow, there is such a thing? There's liberal Mennonites? All right.
What does that mean, though?
I don't know. Like they're...
Wear colors?
Listen to the radio?
Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know.
I bet. The Mennonites came first, and the Amish broke off from them in the 1600s. I didn't know that.
Wait, first it was Mennonites.
Yeah.
And then the Amish broke off from the Mennonites?
Yeah, and he goes, it's always made me wonder what they must have been like in the 1600s, since today's Amish are like the 1800s. No kidding. What was that like? So I guess they had a little separation there. Maybe one of them wanted the dresses to be, a little bit more revealing, I guess. I don't know. Like, what was the big differences? Like, too much ankle being shown?
It's possible. Or maybe wrist. You ever seen... Yeah. If you've seen Amish wrist... You know that it gets pretty serious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, did one of them want to churn butter with one arm instead of 2? And then the other one was like, whoa, that's crazy talk.
I don't know. I do know in Montana, we had Hutterites. And I think they're kind of sort of similar. It's a religious group that lives in colonies.
Oh, wow. Hutterites.
Yeah, Hutterites. Hutter.
Do we know, did they break off from somebody?
It doesn't say that. I'm looking them up on Google right now.
Hutterian Brethren, if you belong there.
They live in colonies of 80 to 150 people. They share property and income.
Oh, no.
That's the word. Commune.
Thank you.
They eat meals together. And they practice non-resistance, which means not resisting authority even when it's unjust. Interesting.
Okay, then. How many people we got there? Any idea?
Doesn't say. Just that they're in colonies of 80 to 150. So
50,000 total.
In Montana?
No, just spread over Western Canada and Northwest U.S. Wow.
Okay. Wow. So, I mean, that's
a
substantial.
That's a voting block.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a decent amount of people. Yeah. I don't know if they vote. Who knows?
What's the point? You're not going to resist.
Right.
You know, like, why do you don't have a invested interest in the laws if you're just going to conform to whatever?
So what have we found out about the? Did you find out something else about the?
Yes, we have a
people
picture
at
of the
the
basement.
space station.
Yes, of the basement. So if you said
there is a basement.
The basement is on the bottom.
Yeah,
that's where you said 3 people are down there, and then one person.
And one person was in the attic.
In the attic. The attic's on the left hand side.
Okay.
So
that is awesome.
And then if we go back to the video, I can tell you who's in the middle.
Okay.
The middle is Nick Hague, which was the commander for the SpaceX Dragon crew that would bring them back.
Okay. It was the SpaceX Dragon crew. What was the problem with them bringing people back after they dropped them off?
The NASA spacesuit was not configured to the Dragon.
Right. I
Which
remember
makes
that.
sense.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Can we not get on the same page? We're the United States of America. Come on.
Embarrassing.
That's what happens when you start dropping programs and space vehicles, and you got to thumb a ride from the Russians to get up to space in the first place. I mean, that's where we were for a while after they dropped the space shuttle.
Yeah.
We had to hitchhike with the Russians to get up into space. That's pathetic.
At least under Obama, we were accomplishing as a nation the outreach to Muslim nations through
Right,
NASA.
that's true.
So
we made them feel good about
themselves.
themselves.
That.
No, you cannot.
And
that's really important.
Here's the Elon tweet yesterday that set off everything.
Okay.
He said the astronauts were only supposed to be up there for 8 days, and now they've been there for 8 months. SpaceX could have sent up another Dragon and brought them home 6 months ago, but the Biden White House, not NASA, refused to allow it.
Wow.
President Trump asked me to bring them back as soon as possible, and we are doing so. What's the date on that again?
March 12th. March 12th.
Wednesday.
So that's only 6 days from now. Yeah. Next Wednesday is scheduled. Is the scheduled return of those two.
And then the rest of the crew that is there is from Russia. It's from Mission MS-26. So those are the ones in the basement.
And I'm being completely serious when I say, with Trump trying to settle Ukraine and Russia, maybe not the time to be, publicly condemning Vladimir Putin with your astronauts been stranded up there forever. I don't know. Just we need some partnership right now to get them home.
Well, I think Musk can pull it off. Well, I mean, hope and pray for these people that everything goes well. Can you imagine if it doesn't? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say bad enough that they've
really
just
bad.
been up there forever.
Yeah,
but can you imagine if this goes bad? Oh gosh.
Yeah, it would be really bad.
I don't even want to think about that.
So Elon and the DOGE team continue to uncover massive spending fraud too within our government. One group that needs to be looked into is this NGO in Maine, where Somalis are resettled into the U.S.
Oh my!
Maine is a predominantly white state. Many of the communities that I have been a part of have been majority white who have lived here in Maine all of their lives. They haven't even had to travel anywhere or didn't have to wake up to sounds of gunshots. So it was hard. It was hard.
Yeah, you gotta love America.
Living here, it's been hard.
It's been hard living here without gunshots? What?
Asking Sudanese people to move here in Maine. I don't particularly feel like I'm more Sudanese or more American. I fight for Sudan in all my capacity.
Sudan.
My advice, again, is for anyone who's coming is to hold on to their mother tongue, to hold on to your culture, hold on to your religion, to your beliefs. There's no reason to assimilate.
There's no reason to assimilate.
We thought you'd like that line.
Oh my God.
There's no reason to assimilate.
There's no reason for you to be here then.
Right.
Why are you here? If you want to hang on to your language, your culture, and your loyalty to your country, go back to your country. Go back to Sudan. That's not Somalis. She's Sudanese, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
She said Sudan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I typed it up wrong.
That pisses me off.
Right?
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
We always hear, this is a country of immigrants. We're all immigrants. Yeah, legal immigrants. My ancestors came here through Ellis Island. They were documented. They told authorities what they were doing here, what their plans were, what their names were, all of those things. They were checked for disease. And then they lived peacefully and assimilated. I had a grandmother who wouldn't allow her children to speak Gaelic.
Right.
Because she wanted Americans. She was raising her family in this country. And she wanted to assimilate in this country. For her, Miss Sudanese, there's no reason to assimilate? Well, then get out. What are you doing here?
That's
unbelievable. That's despicable.
And speaking of unbelievable, can we start that clip at the beginning? Did she honestly say that it's like there's no sounds of gunfire? So it's a hard adjustment?
Yeah.
Play this beginning part again, can we?
Maine is a predominantly white.
Maine's predominantly white. Is that bad? What are you saying with that?
Many of the communities that I have been a part of have been majority white who have lived here in Maine all of their lives. They haven't even had to travel anywhere or didn't have to wake up to sounds of gunshots. So it was hard. It was hard.
Okay, there was an edit there.
Yeah, there was an edit.
Yeah,
so it was hard.
Got it.
Made it sound like it. So it was hard not waking up to gunshots. I mean, it's too quiet around here.
Stupid alarm clock. I'm used to hearing gunfire outside my bedroom window.
Yeah. There's nothing better than gunfire outside your window to wake you up in the morning.
I mean, and that will wake you up.
It will.
It works.
Yeah, and, you're ready to start the day when the gunfire starts. Awesome. You look at your watch and you think, wow, the gunfire started already? I am running late this morning.
Yeah, that's almost what it was like living in Third Ward, Houston.
Jeez. Close, right? Close.
It was pretty close, yeah.
And speaking of that, how weird is that? Because that was Sheila Jackson Lee's ward. That was her district. She died. And then the guy who replaced her, Sylvester Turner, also just died. What is going on
I'm not
in
raising
Houston's
my
third
hand
ward?
To fill that seat.
No.
That's a cursed seat.
Wow, that's weird.
And you don't want to be political when someone passes away like this. I just want to point out, Governor Abbott has 2 months to call for a special election. Now, there's somebody in D.C. calling the governor saying, look, sure is razor thin margin here with Republicans in the House. Can you give us the full 2 months before that special election? Since that's a Democrat vote we don't have to deal with for the next 2 months. I guarantee you that phone call is being made.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If they're smart, that call is being made.
Sure.
All right. Have you ever had a cookie so good that it made you question your entire existence? That's Kexi cookies.
Yeah, it is.
These aren't your average sad store-bought cookies that taste like disappointment and broken dreams. These are big, soft, bakery-style masterpieces made with fresh, natural ingredients because we actually care about the product that we make. But don't take our word for it. Listen to Barbara. Here's what she had to say. We assume she has impeccable taste. She says, these are the best cookies I've ever purchased.
Oh, yeah.
I love tasting all the new flavors, and I've never been disappointed. You've got the brownie that we...
Oh, yeah. Is that okay that I'm eating on the job?
It's okay.
This is good stuff. Which one was this one again?
That's the Irish cream brownie.
Yeah.
So good.
It is the cookie that eats like a meal, y'all.
Really does.
Oh.
But it's a brownie.
But that one's a brownie.
My bad.
But we ship nationwide, so you don't even have to leave your house to get your hands on them. Whether you're treating yourself or pretending to be generous by sending a box to a friend, go to Kexi.com, order it now. Don't wait. Barbara wouldn't, and she'll tell you how great these are. Kexi, Keksi, Kexi.com.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Oh, and by the way, the lemon cookie that is really, really popular, that's back.
Yes.
Chris got the one that was in the box yesterday.
Chris has been, or who was it? You or Jeffy have been clamoring for that thing.
Yeah, Jeffy.
Oh, yeah, me and
both
Jeffy.
of us, really, but
Yes.
but it was
But I
Chris
got
that
it.
wound up with it. So, all right. Speaking of money going to waste in the government, as we have been this morning, here's an old news clip about one particular employee who was literally paid to do nothing.
Yeah, I don't know how old this clip is. It doesn't matter. But this kind of waste, you don't need me to tell you this has been going on forever. Listen, this is raging.
When this government worker goes to the office every day,
There's nothing to do. There's nothing to pretend to do.
though Edward
He can't
McSweden
even
once
pretend.
managed a large portfolio of research at the National Institutes of Health, NIH, his work days have been pretty much empty since.
March 1996.
It's not that he doesn't want to work. He says they
Pause
won't
it.
let him.
I don't know.
Meantime,
March 19. Okay, so this must be a while ago,
I mean,
right?
Because
it can't
the
be.
video quality is as such.
Yeah. It can't be 30 years of doing nothing, can it? Actually, it could. It probably could.
Okay, but he's going to explain what he does with his time, and I
Okay.
will say I don't know how many years
My gosh.
this went on, but he accomplished a lot in that downtime on
Okay.
your dime.
All right. Let's see it.
meantime, taxpayers are covering his generous paycheck.
How much do you get paid to do nothing?
About 100,000 a year.
So what do you do all day when you go to the office?
I've managed to publish a couple of books. Some short story fiction.
Good for you.
A little bit of nonfiction writing.
Yes, with all that free time and with taxpayers footing the bill, he's become a successful mystery writer.
Well,
and more.
I wound up joining a health club near the office just to sort of break up the day.
Oddly enough, he's been getting good job reviews.
I guess I'm good at doing nothing.
Okay, that's your government at work.
Just so you know, this aired in 2003. So at the time,
Oh,
he
okay,
had
7
been
years.
doing this for over 7 years. I don't know if it stopped. I can tell you the guy's an idiot for sitting down and doing this interview.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why did you mess with your...
Jeez.
I mean, that is...
Did he get? I wonder if he got fired after that. You're doing nothing for 7 years? Wow.
And you know he's not the only guy, not in 2003, not in 2025, that
That's
was
for
doing
sure.
nothing. And that guy didn't even have to come up with the 5 bullet points.
That's amazing. Wow. And you know what's changed in the last 22 years since that report came out? It's gotten worse.
It sure has.
That's what's changed. It's probably gotten even worse. And there's probably hundreds of thousands of people doing just what he was doing, trying to figure out something. And the beauty of it, they don't even have to go into the office not to do it because they were working from home. They didn't even have to commute in like he did.
Right.
That's incredible.
That was before the world of
Yeah,
Zoom.
Right. Yep. That's before all the, work from home stuff. Yeah, it's fine. You can do anything at home that you could do here. So just do it there. Wow.
Oh.
All right. Did you see the warning that President Trump gave to Hamas yesterday? Release all our hostages now or you're all dead, was pretty much what he told them. He said it was the last warning to release all remaining hostages or there will be hell to pay. Hours before the post, it was revealed in an Axios report that the U.S. officials met with Hamas for the first time to discuss the release of the hostages. U.S. notably designated Hamas as a terrorist group nearly 2 decades ago, prompting Fox's Peter Doocy to ask about the meeting during a White House press briefing. And in a Truth Social post, President Trump wrote, "Shalom, Hamas."
Oh, no.
Means hello and goodbye. You can choose. Release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I'm sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you've destroyed. This is your last warning. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also, to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Wow. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Wow. So, I guess, they've probably heard the threats before. So I don't know if they're going to take this seriously or not, but I think they probably should. It is time to put an end to this nonsense. I mean, it's been a year and a half, right? October 7th was almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So
horrible. How many? Do we know the total count? Of course, we probably don't know because
I don't think we do. I don't think we know how many American hostages there are because we don't know if any of them are alive anymore.
Yeah. Oh, just so.
This story was talking about one American hostage that Donald Trump is talking about. So we don't know if it's more than one, but there's one that we believe that he's still alive.
Okay. Really? There is one living American?
American. That was what attached to this story with the tweet.
Wow.
Oh, did you hear, speaking of the world front, did you see China saying that they're ready for war with the U.S. Of any kind? Not just a trade war, apparently? Okay. That's fun.
I think Pete Hegseth is standing up to him, though, pretty strongly, which is good.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. Also, on President Trump sending messages, on Tuesday night, the Gold Star dad who was ejected and arrested at last year's Biden State of the Union address. This year, Trump announced the arrest of the terrorist responsible for killing his son. So that's what a difference a year can make, and a new president can make. Okay, that's right there.
That's the mastermind.
Are we sure?
According to Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah Adams.
I think we're pretty sure.
Sarah Adams, who's been following all the goings on with Abby Gate and everything, not as convinced, but
really?
I hope we got some justice.
Yeah, I do too.
But
I do too.
She thinks that the mastermind, there's several that are still out there. I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe Pakistan helped us, right?
Yes.
Huh.
I know, right?
Huh.
Right?
Okay. All right. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but okay.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, Pakistan.
Yeah. So Steve Nakui was the father of Marine Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui, and he shouted Abby Gate last year at the State of the Union address. Second Battalion, 1st Marines. His son, who was 20 at the time, was one of the 13 Americans killed by the suicide bomber. Man. So he was handcuffed and charged for disrupting Congress. Fortunately, the charges were later dropped, but, I mean, pathetic.
Wait, handcuffed?
Yeah, they cuffed him.
Huh.
Yep.
It seems like he said a lot less than that Al Green fella.
He sure does. Was Al Green cuffed Tuesday night? No. No, of course he was not. Nor was he charged with anything. And he certainly disrupted Congress, but I guess that was okay. That's perfectly fine.
Right, Ivan? Sorry.
It's been a while since we've had a right Ivan, though. Okay. And the other thing is that one of the other things that President Trump talked about the other night was the transgender mice thing, which kind of sparked a bunch of controversy online and with Democrats. There's no transgender mice. Blah, 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 blah. It's not happening. Really? President Trump said $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. CNN quickly spun that and said that President Trump falsely claimed the Department of Government Efficiency identified $8 million for making mice transgender. They cited $477,121 in government funding for 3 projects involving giving estrogen to monkeys But I guess that's okay. So even if it were just that, and I guess that's fine.
Wow.
Estrogen to monkeys to test how it affects their susceptibility to HIV. Incredible. Right? Incredible. So anyway, the White House responded with a fact sheet citing 6 studies involving gender ideology in mice. All funded by the NIH and costing American taxpayers over $8 million. So it seems your report was a little incomplete, CNN.
Boy, I love having a White House that pushes back on us.
I do too. I love it. One study treated both male and female mice with estrogen to discover how to better treat and prevent asthma in cis and transgender women. Come on. That study alone cost us $3.1 million over 4 years.
Mm-hmm. And Chris, CNN was
CNN
so
went back and
embarrassed.
fixed their fact check, by the way.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
They did fix it?
They did fix all the fact check.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
How about
Now,
that? I'm
if we
surprised.
had a White House that
Did not
was a
push
pusher,
back.
Right.
yeah, and then
Everybody just say, they lied.
Yep.
They lied. Like the little signs the moronic Democrats held up. You lied! They lied! Okay. Jeez. All right. We've got more coming up on Overtime for you, and then we'll see you back here to finish off the week with Jeffy tomorrow.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.